Hello everyone, and happy 2026. I thought I would start the year by talking about some of my goals that I want to set, some things I want to accomplish this year. I did a similar video in 2025, and that was the first time in years that I had done like goal setting for the year. I don't really call them New Year's resolutions necessarily, because most of the time they're not something brand new that I'm trying to start. They're just continued goals for things I've already been pursuing. There are a few that are like brand new this year, but most of them are things I've already been working on that I'm just moving forward with and setting new goals. So first I'd like to briefly recap how my 2025 goals went. I set 7 goals at the beginning of 2025. My first goal is building my confidence and getting to a better mental space. Basically, to take better care of myself and become the person I want to be. Now I think I nailed that goal. Not only did I continue to go to therapy all throughout 2025, which just helped my mental health. I was able to talk through things, work through things, continue working on myself. I made a lot of friends who helped with that. Some big life changes occurred in 2025 that helped with that. Physical health, I did consistently lift weights, work out. I even started running in the summer. Did that consistently up until October when I moved to Seattle, and then I've kind of fallen off. I have been getting a lot of steps as I walked around the city, but I haven't been working out in other ways, so I do need to get back into that. But for the most part, I did really good at taking care of my mental health and my physical health in 2025. All right, so goal number 2, building relationships. My second goal for 2025 is to build relationships. There's 2 pieces to this. First, I want to date this year. I didn't go on any dates in 2024, even though I tried. I didn't accomplish every part of that goal, as there were a few things I wanted to do. I wanted to make friends, I wanted to date more, hopefully be in a relationship, those sort of things. I did make friends. I did go to events and do things to meet people. So I think it was a big success in that way. And I didn't go on a date in 2025, and then I went to some singles events where I would talk with people, but didn't really accomplish that part of the goal. Another goal of mine is to learn archery. My third goal was to learn archery. That did not happen. That is a completely failed goal. Did not learn archery in 2025. All right, now on to my fourth goal, finishing drafting my novel. If you're new to my channel or you just aren't aware, I've been writing an epic fantasy novel for many years now. I did not accomplish that goal, but I don't think it's a failure because I did work on both of them. I continued to write in 2025, reworked entire parts of my contemporary fantasy novel, actually, like completely rewrote huge parts of the book and then continued it. So there's a lot of progress, a lot of writing progress in 2025. So I don't want to say it's a failure to have not finished a complete draft, because I was working hard to get there, and the fact that I was writing I still think was a win. All right, on to goal number 5. Let's talk about this channel. I used to focus on building this channel and making videos. Back in 2016, I posted 43 videos, and in 2017, I posted 47. But over the years, my uploads have dwindled, and between 2023 and 2024 combined, I've only shared 8 videos. Do more with YouTube was another goal that I set. And you know, I did more with YouTube than the previous year, and I think the year before that. So in that way, it is a win, but I did not follow the plan that I had set at the beginning of the year. And I'm gonna try to do better this year. My final goal for 2025 is to read 12 books. My next goal was to read 12 books. I ended up reading 19, so I did really good there. I've just established reading as a habit again. All right, I know I said the last goal was my final one, but this goal isn't one that I'm necessarily thinking will happen in 2025, maybe 2026, but it's something that I'm gonna start working toward. It's more of a long-term exploration, just figuring out if I want to move to Seattle or closer to the city. And then I had a stretch goal for 2025, and that was to explore the possibility of moving out. I had been living with my parents, maybe moving to Seattle, and I wasn't anticipating moving in 2025. I just wanted to set the goal of like figuring out a plan, figuring out where I wanted to be, what neighborhoods, what I actually want to move to the city, where else would I want to move. And not only did I do that, but I ended up moving to Seattle, living independently. So that was a stretch goal that I had put out there for fun, and it ended up happening, which was really cool. So I did pretty good at meeting my 2025 goals. And in that spirit and wanting to keep some of my momentum going on some of these goals, I have set my 2026 goals to be very similar with a few fun changes. So my first goal for 2026 is a goal from the previous year that I am just moving over and expanding upon, just continuing that progress, and that is to build relationships, build friendships, to date, build community, all of that, just one goal, just build relationships. Had that goal last year, did really good in terms of meeting new friends and becoming part of the community here in Seattle. And now that I am here in Seattle, living here, I'm just going to keep that as a goal. I made some changes at the end of last year, like joining a book club, that I'll hopefully continue with this year and just continue to meet people. So I'm feeling good about that one, and I want to keep that for 2026. The second goal that I am moving over from 2025 into 2026 is to finish a draft of a novel. Like I said, I did not accomplish that last year, but I did write consistently, and already in 2026, we are a few days in, and I have been writing every day. Not a ton every day, but I have been working toward that goal. So I'm still going to put it on there. Don't know if it will happen. I think it's much more realistic this year to finish a complete draft of a novel. Both of my novels are past the halfway point in the book, so it is very possible. We'll see what happens. In any case, I will be breaking that goal down into smaller chunks to make it manageable. So for January, for example, I have set a goal of writing 10,000 words. It can be in either or both of the novels, just a combined 10,000 words. So I will be breaking that goal up just to keep moving forward and see what my progress is. My third goal, I wanted to set another reading goal, so I bumped it up to 15 books. I did read 19 books in 2025. Some of them were short, and I'm reading a lot longer books right now. So I did bump it up a little bit from my goal of 12 last year, but still within reach, considering I did 19. The books I'm reading right now are a bit longer, a bit harder, but we'll see if I can do 15. My fourth goal, and this is a brand new resolution, a brand new goal, something really fun that I've been wanting to do for a long time and just have not. And that is to learn an instrument. I don't play any instruments. I did try teaching myself guitar a little bit back when I was in junior high, and I just never dedicated the time to it. So I've been thinking about that for a while, and I've decided that I would like to learn to play piano/keyboards. I think that would be a really cool skill to have. And I'm not saying like I would become an expert in a year, but just to start learning and working on that every day. And to ensure that I actually do that, I did yesterday go out and buy a brand new keyboard. So now I have one, and I've already spent about 2 hours practicing. The first day I spent more time. I've always set a goal of like 30 minutes to an hour a day, but when you first get it, it's just fun. You're just kind of messing around. So I spent more time on it yesterday, but I just want to break it down to small chunks of like half an hour a day. If you miss a day, whatever, but just kind of get in the pattern of practicing, and we'll see where I end up by the end of the year. My next goal is to post at least 2 to 3 YouTube videos per month. They don't have to necessarily be a full-length video. They could be a short or something, but I want to make sure that I'm consistently posting to this channel again, because that was sort of my goal last year, and while I somewhat got there, I didn't quite do what I had set out to do. My next goal is just to go hiking more. I didn't really go hiking that much these past few years. I definitely did get out and go on some hikes, but I want to go hiking more. I want to spend the summer outdoors. So I'm setting that goal. Now that I'm in the city, I can hopefully get some friends who want to go hiking. Most of my friends who live here in Seattle do not own a car. I do own a car, so I will be trying to get people who do like to hike and haven't hiked in a while, just be like, hey, let's go hiking. I can take you out of the city and we'll go explore, So hopefully that happens. Already some talks with some friends about making things happen when the weather gets warmer, so we'll see. And my final goal that I'm going to set right now for 2026 is to journal more. This is the journal that I've been using lately, and I've never been very consistent or good at journaling. I usually will write like 2 or 3 entries and then forget about it for like a year or 2. You know, I write my novels, but I don't really write down like my thoughts much. And it's something that we discussed in therapy this past year, and so I started journaling a bit at the beginning of 2025. Not every day. I don't want to set a goal of like forcing myself to journal every day, just when I want to, you know. But I want to make sure that it is top of mind, because while I did pretty good in the first half of 2025, my last entry was in June, and then I just didn't write anything for 6 months. And there were some big things that happened in those 6 months that I probably should have like used my journal for. So that's one of my goals for 2026, is just to write in my journal more consistently than I ever have. You know, I don't want to set like an unreasonable goal of like, I'm going to write something every day, because I'm not going to. I'm not going to attain that goal, but as long as I am making sure that I am at least periodically writing in the journal, then I will be happy. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Just wanted to make sure that I'm starting the year right, putting my goals out there publicly, because then I'm more likely to actually work toward them and accomplish them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what some of your goals are for 2026 down in the comments. I look forward to reading them. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like, and consider subscribing to my channel so that you know the next time that I upload. I'm Charaba, and I'll see you on the next one.